Hey guys, this is just a really funny thing I thought we could do. Just a quick one stitch with my friends Jake Davis and Shannon D. We just wanted to throw this out. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone.
Gobble, gobble.
And hope you guys don't bring up politics with your family and just be good
Just
boys and
avoid
girls
it.
and
Try
theys
to
and thems.
Try
and
to hang out
everybody
with the teens that are smoking weed.
Yeah.
Like hang out with that crew. Avoid the.
Don't give them weed. That's a
Don't.
little
No, you
too
can't. You
much,
can't do that.
but-
They
They'll
got to
eat all
bring
the
their own
food.
weed. Yeah.
Well, actually, we should be saying Happy Indigenous People Day.
And-
Isn't
yeah.
that what it is?
I think
now?
that's a different day, Shannon.
really?
I think
That's Columbus Day. It is,
but sure, why not?
people.
Happy that day also, because
Yes,
I hope you are
because
happy, you know?
The
It's an
history of
important day.
Thanksgiving is not.
Yeah,
always
not super dope. Not a
Yeah.
super dope fun holiday. They really went out of their way to make that one fun for us. But you know, it's cool to see everybody.
Yeah.
It is my favorite holiday, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the number one.
Well, you had a take about how it's gotten a lot better. The Friendsgivings have improved. I mean, now we're all in our 30s, which...
Just people know how to cook now.
Yeah,
The food
yeah,
is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
It's made more.
Because
of
what
a
was
very
it? What was it
impressed.
some years ago?
One person knows how to make a turkey, and then everybody else brings chips and salsa.
Yeah.
It's just like, all right, this
That is an
it.
Arizona Thanksgiving right there.
Truly. I feel like there's like less pressure on Thanksgiving as opposed to like Christmas. You have
Yeah.
to get presents. It's like not as fun now that we're adults. So Thanksgiving I just always love because you kind of just, at least for me with my family, I just like show up and like usually get high and just eat a lot.
Sure.
And it's the best.
It's a
There's
good way
like
to
no
go.
pressure. You don't have
I
to
ate
get
a
dressed
lot.
up.
I think it is the most, it's sort of like the casual warm up for the winter holidays
Yeah.
with families of like, it is more come as you are. My family always is always big groups for Thanksgiving and Christmas. It'd be somewhere between like, some years it'd be 12 people, some years it'd be 20. It would just depend on who's available
fun.
and who's in town. It was a lot of like
fun.
adopted friends that like, you know, the
Yes.
younger kids in the family call uncle, even though not related to them at
Yeah,
all. So
yeah, I love
big
that.
groups. And, but my thing with Thanksgiving, and I know Shannon thinks less of me for knowing this. I'm not crazy about the food. I've got I have some things I love at Thanksgiving.
Okay,
dinner.
what are
turkey,
your- turkey?
love turkey,
Okay.
white meat, dark meat, don't care, can go nuts on that.
Okay.
Biscuits.
With gravy?
Yeah, I do like gravy. Well, I like the gravy more on white meat
It's a
than I
pretty
do on dark
core
meat.
dish, so I
Right.
don't know what your objection is. Go on.
It's biscuits. Love a biscuit, which honestly doesn't even feel
Not
like it
super
counts.
standard fare.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
any kind of potato, any kind of
potato.
non-sweet potato product.
Okay.
Outside of those things and maybe a salad, I don't need any of that
The
noise.
stuffing.
Stuffing can be made really well.
Stuffing
Pumpkin
is
pie.
incredible.
Average stuffing is basically just, well, I got all this food mess. I
agree,
better
yeah.
dice it up and put some
Average
spices
stuffing's
on
like,
it.
I put some bread in a thing.
If
You're
it's
like,
done
what is
well,
this?
If it's done well,
insane.
but even
good.
the best stuffing, and I've been lucky to be around a lot of great stuffing. I still don't go nuts for it. I can have like a couple of bites, and I'm like, I'm good.
Wow. Okay.
Are you eating
What
turkey
about-
regularly that doesn't get you going? Like, I don't
No,
understand.
I honestly only eat turkey around Thanksgiving. I don't go out of my way for it any
But
other
you're
time
not
of year.
excited at all
Yeah.
for the food?
No, I mean, I am excited for it to the extent of like, oh, this is going to be a good meal. But like, I don't romanticize sweet potatoes. Gross. Cranberry sauce. Don't eat it. Green bean casserole. What the fuck
I
is
love
that?
green bean
Good for
casserole.
you. More for you.
There
There's,
will be more for me. Thank you.
People, but nowadays they've been making like I made really great Brussels sprouts for last night. It was
Okay.
so
Like
good.
good
There was
Brussels
roasted broccoli, mac and
yes.
cheese
But that's
has
the
become like
Friendsgiving.
a clutch thing.
That's the Friendsgiving. Friendsgiving table, amazing. It's all good homey stuff. But family Thanksgiving, everybody feels like they have to have the Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
that's the part I don't like. I don't like a holiday
Yeah.
telling me what I can eat. I'll tell you what I want for Thanksgiving.
And I was the pickiest eater as a kid. I literally didn't eat any of it except
Okay.
for
Yeah.
crescent rolls.
Oh, love a
So I
crescent
just had a
roll.
plate
Jake, you
of
like most
crescent
of fucking
rolls.
food.
No, I like I like biscuits.
Those are the three main things besides biscuits, which aren't even a
Yeah,
Thanksgiving
mashed
food. I don't know
potatoes,
where you got
turkey,
that.
So basically, you just don't like.
Cranberry sauce, yams, green bean
okay.
casserole. There's a lot on that. And I'm not crazy about stuffing. There's a lot
But you like
on that
mashed
thing.
potatoes and
I love
turkey.
mashed
That's the
potatoes and
core
turkey.
meal, bro.
But I'm like 3 for 12 on
Okay.
everything else.
All
like
right, well.
ambrosia? What
Oh, that's
fucking
disgusting.
monster.
What is ambrosia?
Disgusting.
Marshmallow salad.
Yeah, marshmallow salad.
What?
Yeah.
Like Jello or something.
It can be pink. It can be yellow. I've seen it orange. White people went out of control with that
It was like
one.
a 1950s like
Fucking
thing.
absurd.
Had that. Well, listen, I have a take that's similar to yours. I love Thanksgiving food, and a couple years ago, I did get to eat at one of the nicest restaurants in New York City called Daniel, and I had Thanksgiving at Daniel. It was super expensive. You know, I didn't pay for it. I think it was over $300 a head. Crazy expensive.
Wow.
And let me say, it was great. It was really good. But I feel like Thanksgiving, the dishes aren't really enhanced by a super fancy meal. I feel like the way your mom does it is honestly probably like close to 98% as good as it gets.
Yeah. And it's just nostalgia too.
Yeah.
Mom's gravy hit different. Mom's mashed potatoes hit different.
Yeah.
She just, I don't know what she's doing in there, but it tastes amazing.
Agreed. Well, actually, don't we have a situation today about a picky eater?
Yes, we do. Thanks for bringing us in. Guys, I hope you enjoy this. Happy Thanksgiving. All y'all, much love. Please join us on Patreon, patreon.com/AITA pod. Oh, and I wanted to tell you guys, we're actually going to be releasing Sticker Pack 2.0, the new stickers, the vinyls, to the general public now. So please.
And they are bangers.
They're bangers.
Very
They're
good
vinyl.
stickers.
You can put them on a car. You can put them on a water bottle. They're waterproof. They're wonderful. So go ahead and submit into the form, and we will send you the new stickers. And actually, Shannon did something brilliant. She cut out part of one of the stickers and made it look like a custom shape. There, you can see this on YouTube if you're watching. So you're free to cut them up or whatever, and you can ask me if you want doubles of, the Yikes-a-roni or whatever it is. All right, guys, here we go. AITA for telling my wife that she can stay home from this Thanksgiving. My wife is a grade A+ picky eater. Like, what? I don't know that you get a good grade for being obnoxious. Like, how does that work?
Absolutely world class at being difficult.
Yeah. The dean says she's really fucking annoying, so she's on that list. It's bothersome to a certain degree, but on holidays, basically the shit show begins. She'd refuse to eat certain meals, and mom would take it personally, which results in a series of arguments between them. As a compromise this year, my wife offered to bring her own food to Thanksgiving. I was stunned. I asked if she even thought this through, and she looked at me confused. I told her about how weird it'd be for her to bring her own food, especially when she wouldn't be sharing it with anybody. And I told her to think about how mom will react. She got super offended and upset. My wife said that it's not her problem and that she was just trying to make it work by bringing her own meal. I told her again that mom might not like nor even allow this. She blew up at me asking if I want to either eat food she doesn't like or go hungry. I suggested she give my mom's food a chance, but she said it wasn't about my mom's cooking. She just doesn't like certain foods. We had an argument, and I ended up telling her that she could just stay home this Thanksgiving and have whatever meal she likes. She got quiet, then lashed out on me, calling me insensitive and negative to say this to her. I repeatedly asked her to calm down, but she couldn't stop ranting about how I was basically willing to exclude her from a major event. She started cold shouldering me about it while at the same time guilting me, saying I'm treating her poorly after she offered, quote unquote, the perfect compromise, AITA.
Now, I've said on this show before, I have a pet peeve with picky eaters, and this is kind of falls into a caveat situation for it, where it's like, if you are so strictly picky eater, it can be it can be sensory things. It can be certain textures, just like give you a certain reaction. So this sounds like somebody, and I'm trying to be fair here and just read as they're calling it. Maybe I'm giving her too much of the benefit of the doubt. I feel like this is somebody who literally has a hard time with certain foods. Yeah. It's not a matter of them not wanting to try new things. It's just they can't. And I'm giving them a big benefit of the doubt there.
No, I think you're being super fair. And I also think that even if they are the annoying kind of picky, I think when the annoying kind of picky gets grating is when you're putting other people in a position about your pickiness.
Right. Yeah.
But this person is going out of their way to prepare for the situation. And I honestly feel like someone would have to be super sensitive and super like annoying themselves. She's like, listen, I'm super picky. It's my own thing. So I just brought my own food because I know your food is delicious, but I have issues with, pepper.
You know what I think would be a good compromise is if she brought 2 dishes that were big enough for everyone to have.
Smart.
but it was two things that she like, a side and a main.
Oh, that's so smart.
And so it was available to everyone. It was like, oh, here, I'm just bringing stuff
Potluck
over.
style.
Yeah. Instead of it being like, here's my Tupperware of my dish. And then it's like more awkward.
Yeah, and I think everybody kind of, at least like our family, we've always done like, oh, I'll make this one dish for Thanksgiving. Like somebody makes the green bean casserole. No offense, Aunt Cindy, never. It's not your green bean casserole. Just don't like it.
I am offended, Jake.
She'd be more offended by the voice you just gave her. But
And I didn't like that either, Danny. Take it again. I didn't like that either, Danny. Damn it.
it was closer.
Now she has helium.
Yeah, there you go. But I think that this is a really elegant solution to bring your own food, because it's also very easy. I've had years where I'm not that hungry when we get to the dinner because I've just been snacking all day. And I might have a little bit of something. It's very easy to have stuff on your plate and just kind of like be a part of the eating. Yeah. It's like holding an empty beer can at a party, right? Nobody's asking you why you're not drinking. You have a drink in your hand, but you're not actually drinking.
Yeah.
So there is sneaky little ways to get past this, but I think yours is the most elegant, where nobody's getting offended, nobody's, because I don't know about y'all, I was raised like very much of like, if anyone ever puts food in front of you, it is the most delicious thing you ever ate. And it's like, I would never dream of rejecting food put in front of me. And there have been times where like somebody made me spaghetti squash once, and it was like my least favorite food I ever had.
Oh, really?
I really didn't like spaghetti squash.
He hated it.
I love spaghetti so much that it was just like, this is an imposter.
Yeah.
You're trying to trick
compared
me.
to spaghetti.
Forgot it.
Yeah. Well, the top comment kind of saw what you were saying. Okay, challenge 1663. Top dissenting comment. ESH. Why can't your wife make a ham or chicken or some other agreeable food for everyone?
Okay.
I don't know that turkey is all that much more polarizing.
That's the most neutral of meats.
I feel like it's pretty neutral.
It's up to you what your turkey tastes like.
Really, I think chicken is.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Chicken's the most versatile.
Chicken is
Sure.
basically like protein animal. I can see why you don't want her. That's a chicken that's objecting, that's mad. I can see why you don't want her to bring her own plate, which really isn't appropriate for a family party. I'm a picky eater. I don't like turkey. When I was little, my grandma hosted Thanksgiving. My mom made a family-size ham and took it over. Now that I'm older with my own kids, my mom makes turkey and I take ham, which is preferable for me and the kids. So I think the minimum viable product version, sorry to talk like a startup asshole, is to just bring one dish. One shareable dish, and then she brings another Tupperware, and yeah, someone will be like, "What's in the other Tupperware?" She's like, "That's my special food because I'm a picky person."
Yeah.
That's fine. I feel like that greases the wheels enough.
Yeah, and
Not
I
awkward.
just think it's ridiculous that the husband got so mad and that the mother-in-law would be offended. Like, get off your fucking high horse.
I can.
So stuck
I'm
up.
not saying she's right, but I can sympathize with somebody whose love language is cooking. That's a very personal thing to do. I'm not saying I agree with her, but I am saying I can sympathize from a human point of view as to why you would take offense to that. If that's how you tell the people in your life, I love you.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that it's unnecessary hostility to the situation.
I think he was foreseeing a problem. I do see some people being offended about this.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. There's something about bringing food to someone else's house and they're making you
I
food.
guess I do understand that, but don't you think the mother-in-law knows she's a picky eater? Don't you think like that's...
I don't know, but I think that my issue, I mean, I think you're onto something.
kind of
I think
prepared for
why
it.
was his attitude, if he had said, well, one concern I'm having is that my mother-in-law could have a bad reaction, that would have been an appropriate thing to say. But instead he was like super stanky about it. And he was like, did you even think about how my mom would react? And it's like, well, why don't you try to broker this deal and figure this out? Why don't you call your mother and
just
warn
let her
her
know.
that,
There's a right way to sell this situation to the
Totally.
mom
Yeah,
too. I also, are we not so sure that the husband in the situation is kind of using his mom as an excuse because he feels uncomfortable with it?
I think you're on to that. I think a lot of people don't have that maturity either. It's like, first of all, they're projecting something because it could be awkward. I don't deny this, especially without bringing a thing. I think if you just like brute force show up, start eating on your own plate, that's going to be a weird moment potentially. That could set someone off. But like people do this thing where it's like they anticipate it and then they get like super like shamey and mean, and I feel like that's right away where he went like, you can just stay home, and it's like, okay, dude.
Yeah.
Like, your mom isn't even mad right now. It's the version of your mom in your head that's mad, and now you're freaking out and being controlling.
Yeah, that I didn't really think about that, but he really went from 0 to 60.
Yes, he did.
You can just stay home from Thanksgiving?
No conversation.
Nothing.
That's cruel. And also, it's not like she's choosing to be a picky eater. And there's also a lot of like, I feel like there's been times in my life where, say, I'm like just trying to eat really clean or something, and you're out and you're wanting, you know, or even there's times where I've like made my own meal because I'm like preparing for a role or something. Like
Sure.
I really want to be eating clean.
Yeah.
And then people just always need to have something to say about it. And it's like, how about just don't talk about what I'm eating or my food? Like it's kind of like a personal thing.
It's weird. Yeah.
And it makes me uncomfortable when you're like talking about what I'm eating. And so I can kind of just, why does the situation have to be turned into anything? So I can also understand where she's coming from, the picky eater being like, I didn't choose this, but I'm trying to come up with some sort of solution. And why are you shaming me for eating what I want to eat or what I'm comfortable eating?
I'm with this. And I feel like there's people who will, like, if you're eating like something sparse or whatever, and like that's a great situation. Like you're preparing for a role, you need to slim down a little, whatever it may be. I'm not saying you, but I'm saying
no.
like that's a reason I did keto to lose weight. I wanted to lose weight because, you know, I had tiny muscles and I wanted to be able to see my mussies. I wanted the mussies to look a little bigger.
A sticker,
and Jake Davis loves mussies. That's what I'm going to put on the sticker. But yeah, and like I think there's certain people who would be like, "Oh, that's not an appropriate lunch," and it's like, shut the fuck up. It's wrong to do that to anyone, whether they're eating too much or too little. Like that's none of your business. If you know them really well, then you say, "Hey, I'm just a little bit concerned." I think that's an appropriate thing to say. Like, "Oh, I understand your concern, but everything is perfectly under control. I'm on a very normal diet called keto, where eating apples is the ultimate sin. Don't even bring an apple near me, or I will beat you with it."
I actually, now that we're talking about it, I remember one year we had a guest for Thanksgiving who was doing bodybuilding professionally and was in the middle of like getting ready for a competition or whatever.
Oh my God.
And very like quietly and politely just let my mom know of like, nothing against you. I can just only eat steamed chicken and asparagus right now or whatever it was. And he had brought his own.
Not because asparagus is healthy, because part of it is making my piss smell really weird. Anyway, thanks for having me.
I just enjoy getting it all over a loofah. That's not going to make sense until you hear an episode that comes out later. But anyway.
Revisit this moment
back,
when you hear the
appreciate
loofah piss situation on Monday.
But he was very discreet about it and nobody made a thing, but also he was a giant fucking bodybuilder. So that probably buys you a certain amount of like, I'm not asking any questions.
That's true.
Yeah.
There is an update. OP writes, update, my wife has decided to go spend Thanksgiving with her family, who, by the way, live hours, OP all caps, away. So this means unnecessary travel expenses.
Oh, so you just suck.
What?
Yeah, literally.
Instead, and basically ditch me for a whole week. Y'all happy now? Though I appreciate some insightful comments on this situation. Some others, not so much, especially with those assumptions claiming that my wife has allergies. She does not. Y'all get that from. But anyway, it's all good now. I guess, though, I'm not too thrilled with her decision. I feel like she's doing it to spite me or get me to cave in. Like, get you to cave into what? Talking to your mom for a second?
Yeah,
This guy sucks.
At least let your mom say
really
no.
shitty.
Like, if that's gonna, then it falls on her.
also like
And also, you did it all. It was all
Yeah,
you.
it's all
It was the way
you.
you behaved, and now you're reaping what you sow.
You know what the
might not have been
all-star
me.
compromise would have been from this dude? Go spend Thanksgiving with her family this year. Like, just
That's
like
true.
that would have been a really clutch.
I mean, that's pretty disruptive.
I
If
mean,
you
it's-
already agreed to go.
Yeah,
it's kinda
it's-
trade-off.
but
But I
like-
feel you.
You don't want
But
to punish the parents.
This is
for no
clearly
reason.
an ego bruise. Baby got the big old ego hurt, and it's
Yeah, it's all
really
on the
tough to
husband.
like. Yeah, yes, there's an argument to be made that this is maybe an inconvenience somehow, some way, but it's like really flimsy. It's not really an inconvenience. It's just, I think he was just embarrassed about it and didn't have the emotional intelligence to examine of like, I'd be really embarrassed if she did this, and didn't bother to ask himself, why am I embarrassed about this? It's nothing.
Yeah, he
And-
said also like the picky eating might be like an issue in their relationship,
Right.
Because I mean, as I was saying earlier, I was the pickiest eater ever, but like as an adult, I will basically eat anything.
Sure.
And I think I just have low tolerance for like adults that like won't try stuff or that are still such picky eaters. It's like, come on.
That's one of my least favorite qualities in a person. But
Yeah.
but I'm always aware of the fact of like there are sensory issues people can have
Totally.
where like I for a long time lobster actually like felt uncomfortable for me to chew. Like it felt like it was wrong for me to have in my mouth, and that's the closest
Oh,
thing.
well,
that
guess
I
who
can,
has $40 left on his per diem? It's Jake, because he
only
didn't
had
get a
it-
lobster sandwich.
I only had it one time when my family, like my dad made it, and I was like 9 years old, and
Yeah.
it just was like, this isn't food I should have.
I
So,
mean, it's a great thing to not like because it's crazily expensive.
yeah, I've
and not
never
really
gotten into
filling.
it. I'd probably enjoy it fine now.
Yeah, I mean, I think really that the best defense I could say is that he's in a family system where he doesn't feel comfortable really rocking the boat in any kind of way. That wouldn't really be playing it as it lays. But there might be some president, maybe mom does freak the fuck out at even the slightest question about her cooking on her day.
So to placate her, he just wants to like be like, let's just not do anything to rock the boat with her.
Yes. Yeah. But I think it's more likely that he's being one of those types who's like, what if I look bad for a second? And then he's being really controlling about her because he thinks he can, and he's being a total asshole, and he should be facilitating this request. And yeah, I don't really like to me, the pickiness, it represents being closed off to new experiences. Not a cool trait.
Yeah.
Super not cool. But I think, look, you're not an asshole if you're closed off to new experiences. You're probably boring. But, you know, there are valid reasons. I think you gave a great one, like misophonia or whatever. You hate the sound of chewing or whatever. And, you know, you guys have seen me eat celery. It's a fucking rock concert. And
Loudmouth Danny, we called him because of the celery thing.
He brought celery again. You know, whoa, guys, it's negative calories.
You do whole sets just like Bugs Bunny.
Yeah. I think we agree on this one. AITA for telling my wife that she can stay home this Thanksgiving. I think we're going a big resounding YTA.
I'm thankful for you being an asshole and giving us that softball.
Yeah, seriously. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. And I hope Jake learns to enjoy cranberry sauce.
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
It's gross. No, I don't like
maybe green bean casserole
there
will
we
finally
go.
sneak up on me.
With the onion crunchies? Are there onion crunchies?
Yeah, and here's the thing. I do try it every year. It's not like I've decided I don't like it. I try to eat it every year.
I can live with that.
I'll let it slide.
Except for sweet potatoes. I've learned my lesson. No sweet potatoes. No, thank you.
You know what, Jake? I think it's because you are a sweet potato.
Shit.
He doesn't want to be a cannibal.
Fuck, man. That just made my week. Hell yeah.
That's the most vulnerable male interaction. We start sobbing. All right. Love you guys. Happy Thanks. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Bye.